morning. Welcome to Unity of Port St. Lucie. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone.
There you go. Takes a woman's voice to get this crowd under control.
Good morning, everyone. We're ready to start service.
Yeah. Thank you, Ellie. Taking your seat very nicely. Thank you. Hi. Welcome, everyone, to Unity of Port St. Lucie. How are we doing this morning? All healthy, wealthy, and wise? Good, good. Let's begin our service this morning with our opening song, One Light. Thank you. I would invite you now to sit back, relax in your chairs and seats, wherever you're at, and consider these words from our prayer for inner peace. I open my heart and mind this morning to the presence of God that is within me and in everyone and everything, that one power and one presence. I let God's peace fill my being. In this presence, I am peaceful, poised, confident, and strong. I relax in God's loving care and release all my cares, knowing that God is upholding me and sustaining me in all that I do. God's presence calms me, quiets the storms around me, and leads me to a place of perfect peace. As I center myself in that peaceful presence this morning, I let go of every concern and relax in the safety of God's love and in the love of those around me. I find Unity of Port St. Lucie a sanctuary of love and peace, and I am open and receptive to receive all it has to soothe my mind and soul this day. And so it is. Amen. Join with me in our statement of faith, please. There is only one power and one presence in my life and in the universe, God the good, omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence. And our core values. Unity of Port St. Lucie encourages diversity and embraces harmonious and creative pursuits of truth and knowledge to achieve empowerment, to achieve balance and wholeness in the world. And we get to exercise our vocal skills once again. Please stand and sing together, Weave Us Together. Thank you, Jeff. We passed your test. We all realized there was that missing fourth verse, but that's okay.
That was Donna doing that, because that was her favorite song. So Donna slipped in here.
All right. Thank you. This morning, our daily word will be read to us by Shanetta. Of course it will. Yes. The graphics department will get a stern letter from the management.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As you see, I'm not Virginia. I'm Shanetta. The word for today is comforted. I am enfolded in God's comforting peace. I like to travel through life lightly with a happy heart, but sometimes I'm laid low by a seeming insurmountable obstacle loss. I understand that painful periods visit everyone occasionally. I open my feelings of sadness and sorrow and seek the comfort of God's presence in myself and in my loved ones. As I become willing to embrace my feelings while in process of my pain, I trust I will be comforted. Pain has come to pass. God's love and strength remain and will be with me always. I am grateful for the encouragement of friends and family. Their loving support comforts me, even when no one is by my side. I know I'm not alone. I find comfort in the Christ presence within me. I move bravely through pain, enfolded in the comforting peace of God. Matthew 5:4 says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." Let us all repeat the affirmation for today. I am grateful to those who inspire me. Let us now prepare for our meditation by singing Surely the Presence.
This is true, friends. Each of us knows it to be true. The presence of God is not only in this place, of course, but every place. There is no place where God is not. Let us close our eyes and breathe into that great truth. Let us relax into the knowing that wherever we are, God is. There is no way that we can escape the presence of God, nor would we want to. Breathe into knowing how grateful we are to know this. To know that God is the very air we breathe. That God is here within and without us, all around us, above, below us, beside us, everywhere we are. we are in the presence of God. God within. God within is our source. God within is our substance. God within is our Play-Doh. It is the stuff we use to shape and form our life. God's substance within us. Right now we turn within to the seat of our soul within us, the place from which our power emanates, our heart space. Focus our attention there in our heart space. We feel it. We visualize it in our mind's eye. However that looks for each one of us, we see it. And now, for a few moments in the silence, friends, let us experience it. Experience our great power, the God within us, our source, in the silence. And then very slowly, gently, begin to return your attention to your body. And then to the room outside of your body, the space around you, the people in the room. And slowly, 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 when you're ready, open your eyes again. And celebrate in song the bond of love that we share, the bond of love. You could always sit in the front row, Jonas, you know. I'm just saying. You don't have to hide all the way in the back row. Look right there by John Hayes. Look at that. Besides, I want to look at you up close. Some of you may not know Jonas, but we remember him when he was about 6, 7, 8, and 9 years old, when he used to run around the church at our other location and get into all kinds of trouble with his mama reminding him to behave himself over and over and over again. We loved him then and we love him now. So we're glad you're here, sweetheart. Wow, look at us. Woo! It's good to see almost a full house. There's a lovely lady sitting in the 1, 2, 3, 4th row over here on this side in a bright orange top. Susanna, dear friend, longtime student of mine, from Cincinnati, Ohio today. Woohoo! Susanna was prayer chaplains will remember Susanna from our prayer chaplain training last year. So she's looking over and recognizing a couple of you. Last year we trained the prayer chaplains from Cincinnati along with our prayer chaplains using Zoom. So those of you who participated will recognize Susanna. And Susanna's turning into quite a speaker and teacher up there at that big Unity Temple in Cincinnati. I'm so proud of her. She's an awesome human being. Make sure you get to know her. So the topic today, or the subject today, the title today, I'll get it right soon, is Why Don't We Heal? You know, I announced, I don't know, it feels like forever ago at this point, but this is the last Sunday I'm going to talk about it specifically as it relates to the book that we've been studying, a group of us called Jesus Christ Heals. Announced a long time ago that I was taking a deep dive into this whole idea of healing for a while based on the book that I was studying, Jesus Christ Heals. And I've had this question all along. I've always had this question. Why is it sometimes people heal and sometimes people don't when we pray for healing? And I guess maybe the fact that I had that question explains some reluctance on my part to stand up and talk about healing at this depth. Greater reluctance on my part to start a healing circle because I knew that ultimately this question would come up. It hasn't yet, by the way, but it will. So I'm preparing myself. I'm doing this talk today because I needed to prepare myself. And that's not altogether true. I wanted to share my insights with you because I know I'm not alone. I know people ask themselves this question all the time. Why do sometimes people heal when we pray for healing, and why sometimes do they not? And I don't know. And you don't know. And the truth is, nobody knows. Why do we heal? Why do we not heal? But that didn't stop me from looking at it more closely. Because I need something. I need something. I need some idea that I can grab hold of. Have you ever found yourself in that situation? I just need some idea that I can grab hold of, that I can wrap my head around, I like to say, that helps me deal with a question that hangs out in my head. Because that's where it hangs out, in my head, in my Linda head. We had one spontaneous healing in our healing circle on a Monday evening. We've had other people who felt better even though we didn't pray for them specifically right away and afterward. And then we've had people, I'm certain, who haven't felt anything. No one's asked the question yet. Maybe they're just too polite. It'll come up sooner or later. So the first thing I did, of course, was one of the first things that I always do because I love research. You know, I worked as a research assistant for a law firm for the United States government for years. I love research. I love looking for answers in textbooks. I used to spend hours and hours in the library when I was in college, both in undergraduate and graduate school. That was where I felt, that was my happy place, libraries, seriously. And then when it came to the point where you could do it on the internet, I was over the moon. Oh, not at first, because I love books. So I had to wean myself. I had to make my way out of the stacks. Remember, that's what they were called, stacks, out of the stacks in libraries, because, ooh, those places smell good. They do. There's nothing like the smell of thousands of books. Jeff, for real. You and I will take a road trip to one of the university libraries soon. Yeah. So once I was over it and discovered that I could actually stay at home on my computer and access the Library of Congress. I remember in the early days when it became possible, I used to go there all the time. I was just in awe of the fact that I could do that I could do research in the stacks of the Library of Congress without leaving my desk. Wow. So, one of the first things I did was surf the internet. I asked the question, why don't we heal? Some answers were absurd. This is me being very judgmental. Others resonated with me a little bit. For instance, I found this one that just touched my heart. It was a woman who keeps a blog. You know what a blog is. She writes a little journal and shares it on the internet with the whole world. Just an everyday mom, she calls herself, an everyday mom of several young children. And in this particular blog, she says, I'm the mom of the kid who needs healing. And healing hasn't happened. We've prayed, nada. Other people have prayed, zilch. Still others have anointed Cameron with oil, resulting in exactly zero healing. We've been to big, loud healing gigs. We've stood up in church. We've racked out our angry grief at night in bed, clutching hands and bits of sanity. We have fasted and begged and beseeched. We have threatened. We've said, come on, God. You'd get so much glory from this. Think of the headlines. Based on her personal experience, the personal experience of a mother with a tragically ill child, based on her personal experience of non-healing, you might suspect she'd go on to say, forget about it. But she didn't. In fact, she's online encouraging people to keep praying for healing. In fact, she's written this, her words, we don't pray for healing enough. I couldn't agree more. We've gotten bashful about it, friends. A little bit bashful about it. We don't pray for healing enough. And this is what she says. Maybe because we can't bear the not enough faith, guilt, or disappointment that our prayers are not working. Do you think? I think she's on to something right there. Maybe because too many shady pseudo-Christians have faked healed too many times. Several of you are nodding your heads. I think she's on to something else right there. Maybe, she says, because we don't want to treat God like a genie in a bottle, calling him up to do our bidding. Ease our pain. Give us our way. Wow, you go, Mom. That's what I say to her. You go, Mom. You are my newest hero. What profound wisdom, right? What profound, from an everyday mom, she calls herself. There's a whole lot of bare bones, in our face truth with a small t about what she says. And I get it. I get it. So I'm going to start to pray for healing more and more. I'm going to do it from here. I'm going to remind you to do it. I'm going to ask you to join me in doing it more and more. And I still want to know why. Why don't some people heal? So now I turn to my favorite source of answers for these kinds of questions, all my Unity books. I've got lots of books that are not Unity books, and I refer to them all the time. And in this case, though, I only went to my Unity books because that's where I always get my best answers. The only answers that ever really satisfy me come from my Unity books. So the first answer I found that resonated with me came from the book that I'm studying called Jesus Christ Heals. In it, Unity's co-founder, Mr. Charles Fillmore, says this, quote, "One who prays for the health of another should understand that it's not his or her fault if the subject is not completely and instantly restored. The fault may be in his own lack of persistency or understanding, or it may be due to the patient's dogged clinging to discordant thoughts." What does that mean? Would you know we become fond of our stories. We become used to them. We become used to them. If we're not fond of them, at least sometimes we just become used to them. So used to making the same claim of dis-ease that we sometimes forget, don't we, to stop it. All right, that works for me. I can hang my hat on those answers. Truly, I can. But that wasn't enough. I was looking for something more. I was wanting something a little more profound. Do you know? Something more profound. And then I found it in the same text, and my heart skipped a beat. Truly, it did. And I wasn't looking for it when I found it. Duh. Right? Yeah. Sometimes you give up the search, and there's your answer right there. Anyway, I was preparing for Wednesday night's class, reading the final couple chapters in the book, and I came across this statement, and it's not so much an answer, as it is a reminder. See if you get it. This is a quote, Charles Fillmore. "If you find yourself disappointed because you do not at once demonstrate health after you've prayed, be at peace. And know that your earnest prayers and meditations are working out in you a soul growth that will yet become manifest beyond your wildest hopes." Well, now, I can live with that, right? That made my heart skip a beat. And you know, I wasn't alone. So when I brought it up at class, there were a couple of people who said, "I highlighted that same sentence," right? Other people hadn't, but when they closed their eyes and listened to it, they said, "Oh, wow. At the end of the day, I guess that statement summarizes my truth with a capital T. That statement silences my doubting Thomasina. Maybe because the statement is consistent with my whole belief system. Do you know? It represents my belief system, which is completely aligned with Unity's. And that creates synchronicity in my life. I mentioned that word a couple weeks ago. Remember that spiritually, it means that you're collaborating with your life. You're tuned in and tapped into your divine nature. You're being guided and directed by something much bigger than yourself. Synchronicity. It means I don't need to know why. Maybe it's not even any of my business to know why. It's way above my pay grade to know why. Maybe it needs that I need to just back up and continue to get the big picture. The big picture. Maybe you do too. Some of you. Some of the time. So at a very mundane level, if my knee continues to be stiff and achy, I can remind myself that my soul continues to grow in understanding and wisdom and strength and power and love. It means that I continue to take a closer walk with God. I remind myself that the totality of me is all wrapped up in the starry, starry skies. The totality of me is all wrapped up in the starry, starry skies that Mr. Van Gogh put on canvas for me. Remind myself that, you know, the blip of dis-ease doesn't even register there. It doesn't even register there. No matter how yucky that dis-ease might be. That reminds me that my soul soars there. And at the end of the day, that's what's important. So I'm going to pray for healing for myself, for you, more. And I'm going to encourage you to pray for healing for yourself and others more and more and more. Healing has so much more to do with, has more to do with more than physicality. Way more. Way more. Lila Herman, who's the director of publishing at Unity World Headquarters, wrote an article recently, and she's a journalist, and so she says it very clearly. I want to share her words with you. She says, we usually think of the physical aspects of health first. A perfect body, that imagery that bombards us daily usually illustrates as thin, as tan, flashing a blinding white smile, tossing back thick, glossy hair. But this is marketing, friends. Just marketing. Healthy isn't based on appearance. And it isn't limited to physicality. She goes on to say this. There's more to the healing process than this. When you fill your mind with an image of a benevolent universe and your heart with compassion for all living things, you're doing more than basking in the majesty of creation. You're sending signals to your cells. You're sending signals to your cells that make you healthier. So, pray for specific changes, certainly, absolutely. And fill your mind simultaneously with thoughts of a benevolent universe and compassion for all living things. And right now, today, that might be difficult. You know, just after a 2-year hiatus from what we used to call normal, right? 2 years, friends, it's been. We'll never see that normal again. After a 2-year hiatus from what we used to call normal, after 2 years, let's be honest, of secretly worrying that we might die hooked up to some machine, gasping for air with none of our loved ones present. For 2 years, we have a war? I'm tired. You know, I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. This is exhausting. Exhausting. I have been tempted to take a deep breath and check out. Really? The woman that Renee is going to talk to you about in 1 second found a little quote that she published online. She said, "Doesn't matter how you feel, it matters what you do." All right, I get it. So tell me what to do. Tell me what to do, because I'm tired. Well, my dear friend Renee found something and forwarded it to me just the day before yesterday. And I read it, and it blew my mind. So I'm asking him to share it with all of you. Renee.
Thank you, Linda. This came across my emails about 3-4 days ago. It's an organization that was founded by a lady whose name is Valerie Kaur, and she's of the Sikh faith. And the reason she formed the organization, and she and her husband went on to produce a number of movies that have to do with human conditions, abuses, and the last thing that she actually founded was this revolutionary love project. And this is where she brought up something that we could do that has to do with what's going on in Eastern Europe right now. But she's an incredible lady who is only 41 years old, has a doctorate in in Yale Law School, and she started off because a good friend of hers was the first person that was murdered after 9/11 because of racial hatred, okay? It was a fellow who wore a turban, the Sikh faith. And somebody figured, well, he has to be Middle Eastern, so we're going to shoot him. So that's how she got into this. It's amazing. And I don't want to read this whole thing. If you want to look it up, I can forward you the email, or you can just go on Wikipedia and put in her name, Valerie Kaur. It's Kaur, and you will find an incredible amount of information. But one thing I do want to read, after the 2016 presidential elections, she delivered a watch night address, and it was viewed by 30 million people across the globe. Okay, so let me read to you the essence of what she had in that email. Okay, and she starts off, "My friends," and if I get a little choked up, forgive me. "I have been breathlessly watching the terror in Ukraine unfold. Russia's invasion comes in the midst of nearly a decade of escalating tension, violence, and antagonism. Since 2014, more than 14,000 lives have been claimed as the result of Russia's illegal annexation of the Crimea and its military presence in that area." And so then she went on to say what we can do, what she actually, the prayer she wrote, or what she's suggesting to the people of Russia, she addresses them. So we see you marching in the streets, risking arrest, bearing the cold, and holding your signs high. No war. Your courage is a beacon that shows the world that Russia's leadership is not Russia's people. Only you have the power to stop this war at the source. Keep up the good fight. To the people of Ukraine, we see you waking to the sound of sirens, pulling your children away from the windows, and preparing to protect all that you love. We feel with you. You are not alone. We rise up in solidarity and send you our prayers, our actions, and our aid. And she goes on to say, the children of Ukraine, when I told my son about you, I wanted to send you a prayer my grandfather sang as a soldier in World War II. During the German air raids at night, he slept on the ground and imagined a Sikh prayer as a shield. So tonight we closed our eyes, that was her family, and sang that prayer for you, and we imagined a shimmering gold shield surrounding your homes, your families, and you. And so she says, I ask all of us, what if we made a shield of love? What if this was the moment an unprecedented number of people around the world stood up against war? What if we shifted the collective consciousness so that never again would any government win support to start war? What if our voices and songs and actions flooded Russia and the Ukraine right now, bringing aid and courage and change? We can choose to see no stranger. We can choose to see the people of Ukraine as our family, and the soldiers of Russia as lost ones who can be called home. We can let that sight shape how we grieve and what we do. Each of us has a role. And I'd like to just conclude with a short prayer that I kind of put together. So if you would just close your eyes, if that's comfortable for you. So I invite you to close your eyes and just feel the love that emanates from every heart that is present here today. Because all of you, you're here because you are in touch with your hearts. You know what love means. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for your infinite love that is expressing in and through each one of us. We allow your peace to be our peace, and your love to be our love. And we express it in every thought, word, and deed. We release all fears and worries about our lives and about the world. Right now, and in the days ahead, we send our peace and our love to the people of the Ukraine and to the people of Russia who want only to live in peace. We give thanks for your healing love that spreads from all who are aware of our unity in spirit across the artificial borders that egos have created. We see our peace and love comfort and strengthen all who are in pain. And we see them rise up out of fear to follow the guidance of their indwelling spirit to do what needs to be done to heal all discord. Father, Mother, God, we give thanks for the right and perfect help that is coming to all who are struggling with human issues. Even as we acknowledge that we live in a friendly universe, and we do give thanks that in truth all is well, all the time. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Go ahead. I knew you were going to talk. Go ahead, talk. I'm not going to stop you.
This is the last, hold on.
Mic on.
This is the last Sunday in Black History Month, and we're going to do a song we wrote in honor of that. But it's a song that can be sung any time of the year. Listen to the words.
For any and all people that have been treated wrongly because of their beliefs, their color, or for whatever, and it's for what's going on in the world now. And I'm amazed I'm in sync with my wife. Scary.
Inside your head.
This song is also available on, it's my commercial, it's available on iTunes. We don't sell CDs anymore, we sell tunes on iTunes. There's also a great video out. We found one of the best videographers on the planet. And then the video. Oh, you thought I was talking about Paul Shepard? Oh. No, he is one of the best on the planet. And we have a cameo appearance by one of the parishioners here, the lovely Miss Janetta. If you see the video, we'll show it another time.
don't know why I came to be, and what I feel not all can see. I too can dream all open eyes, release the steam, and you can dream.
Emancipation, proclamation, justice must be reality. Life, liberty, pursuit, happiness. Now this my country, a land of liberty. People have died for peace. How can we live blindly? A world of great belief. I don't know why I came to be, and what I feel not all can see. I too can dream all open eyes, release the steam, and you can dream. The more things change, more remains the same. Think what can happen, all treated equal. We can live in harmony, accepting people as human race. If you can treat me as you want treated, no more needs to be said. I don't know why I came to be, and what I feel not all can see. I too can dream all open eyes, release the steam, and you can dream. I don't know why I came to be, and what I feel not all can see. I too can dream all open eyes, release the steam, and you can
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Jeff. Very nice. At this time, I would ask you to take your offerings and gifts, take them into your hands, and repeat with me our offering blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love because I love to give. Would the ushers come forward, please? Okay, now did I get this slide correct? Prayer chaplain? That was last week. I swear I changed these slides.
Actually, I think it's Judy.
Judy Buckley? Okay. Well, I know this is right. Spiritual discussion group is this Tuesday. That is the first Tuesday of the month. That's good. Right on the beam here. Chair yoga with Lana, Mondays and Wednesdays at 10. Prayer circle Thursday morning at 11 o'clock to 11:30. Bob West has his caregivers support group on the fourth Thursday of each month, 2 o'clock here. This after service today, the healing hour.
May I say something?
Of course.
I would like to invite you all to stay behind for healing service today. After service, we have some snacks at the back. And what we're going to be offering is an opportunity to be together to pray for healing. And as Reverend Linda said, healing doesn't have to be physical. Healing in mind, body, spirit. We'll sit together and meditate for a little. Maybe use the tools of healing, Reiki, energy clearing, and aromatherapy, one-on-one prayer. We offer various modalities for healing. So hope you stay behind.
Thank you. In 2 weeks, John Tuhawks will be joining with us on March 13th. There is he'll be conducting the service and also as a workshop after service. There's a sign-up sheet in the back for folks who may be interested in joining us for lunch. So we need a head count as close as we can get to provide the lobster and steaks that are coming in. So, can I have the offering come forward? Linda, would you do the blessing for us?
We'll get the prayer box so we can include that. And I invite you, friends, to extend your own hands and join me in blessing these gifts and saying thank you to every giver in the room. We are so grateful for you, so grateful for the loving support that you're providing in the form of money so that we can continue to expand this ministry. So grateful for all of those who've reached out and entrusted their prayer requests in this box with us. We know that every prayer is being answered in the right and perfect way. And so it is. And so we let it be. Amen.
So we thank all who have had a role in the service this morning, and thank you guys for coming in, and the tens of thousands probably watching on YouTube as we speak. Thank you all so much. So let's stand and conclude with our peace song.